Happy to be here with you again. We also must look at the free movement of people in Africa. 54 countries, you need visas to move from one country to the other. You know, the goods can move, but the human beings can't move. I mean, what's the use of that? And until we have a free movement of labor and skills across the continent, it's going to be difficult for every country to compartmentalize itself with its own skills and be able to achieve the rate of development that it wants to.
He gave us so much insights on innovation, agriculture, tourism, trade and investment, IT, even fintech, you know, so he knows what's up. We talked about cost savings initiatives, management of funds, which is very huge. So, you know, let's all help to, you know, make Africa great again, as Friends of Africa we've been doing. So we're on the stage to do what we call a fireside question and answers. It's called a fireside questions and answers, where we're going to be focusing on sustaining economic development through SMEs. A few questions that have been selected by leaders of thought. So let's give a round of applause to Dr. Alton.
The only thing is you transit through Bole Airport if you go with Ethiopia. But once you get to Bole Airport, anywhere in Africa you're going, they have a flight taking you there. So things are getting better. We have the Lagos-Abidjan corridor, which is part of what you talked about. IFC and other partners are all involved in that because there's no power, you can't invest. I mean, how do you build a factory when you don't have power to run the factory? Who is determined to reform and move the country forward? You feel it and you see it, you know. The second is, like we said, to fix the infrastructure. I mean, when you're making or bring your raw materials in and move your products. I mean, no sane investor will go and put his, throw his money away in an investment in a place like that. And so we need to fix the infrastructure. And so that was one of the priorities that, you know, moved my government. We were fixing the roads, we were putting in and everything. Take away human discretion from some of the things. And so you must digitalize your ports, you must digitalize your budget. And as you expend money and you pay for invoices and things, there must be a digital trail so that you eliminate all this petty corruption that exists. You know, those are some of the things that I think African leaders should take seriously in order that we're able to turn our fortunes around.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I do have, I'm going to mention that they deliver to the nation. They are employers of labor, they are taxpayers, and they continue to function effectively in driving the agenda of each government, when they come to power. This is not the case with Africa, generally speaking. This is very concerning to a lot of groups, accounting for about 85% of crisis situations, riots, and so on, because they are unemployed. And so this is a major, well, this person said keg of gunpowder, he says. So, but it's concerning. So that's one part of it. What would you be looking to do? How can they be engaged? We heard you talk about the seed investments and so on. I'm going to merge that question with the second one. And that question is the fact that the small and medium enterprises in the Western nations,
it's like an import-oriented thing. Very few people have the courage to invest that money in productive processes within the country. And I'll give you an example. A friend of mine was telling me a story. He set up a factory, and one of the days he went to a sports club where he has friends. And they said, "Oh, we don't see you like this." He said, "Oh, my factory I've been doing and setting up the factory." And one of them said, "Why, you're setting up the factory? What are you going to do?" He says, "I'm manufacturing." So I've forgotten what product it was. He said, "Oh, but you, it's Lebanese and Indians who build factories. You Ghanaians, what are you building a factory for? Ours is to trade." You know? I mean, if you have this kind of conception, you know. And so, yes, you go, the plastic factories that are producing the chairs and tables and things are owned by Ghanaians and Syrians and, you know, Indians and so on and so forth, owned mostly by foreigners. Indigenous capital is not going into manufacturing. And that is some of what we need to look at. Small and medium enterprises have the potential, but they face many obstacles. One, they need training. To be able to run a business, you don't just get up and set up a business. They need training. They need succession planning. There are sometimes a small enterprise builds, becomes medium, it's doing very well, the owner drops dead. Now we have non-communicable disease, hypertension, diabetes, and things. The owner drops dead, the family quarrels over the business, and the business is gone tomorrow. And so we don't have succession planning. That's one of the problems with those small and medium enterprises. But the most important thing is access to capital. The banking sector in Africa is not attuned to lending to small and medium enterprises. And that's why I was sad when in Ghana, 9 of our indigenous banks were closed. I'm sure if you follow what happened in Ghana, one of the major things that has created our debt crisis is that government shut down 9 indigenous banks because it asked them to increase their capital reserve ratio to 400 million, and when the deadline reached they couldn't increase it, they shut them down. Now these were the banks that were operating in the risky end of the market, lending to small enterprises because they knew how to do that kind of lending. The Standard Chartered and Access of this world won't lend to that small trader who needs just 1,000 cedis to trade. But those indigenous banks would lend, they know where the person stays, they know where their business is, and they will come and demand their money when it's time to pay. And so because they work in the risky end of the market, of course, their non-performing debts will be higher than the bigger banks. And so government should have cut them some slack, bought equity into them, put in management to help them iron out their ethical issues and principles of business, and then sell back the equity to them when they stand on their feet. Unfortunately, just ordered them to shut down. And so now, unless you create a special purpose vehicle to be able to meet the needs of these small and medium enterprises, then capital becomes one of the major things that they face. They don't have enough capital. For most of them, the capital is not enough. They have to use the capital to do business, and at the same time, they have to feed their families. If your child is going to school and the capital is there, and you don't have the money to pay fees, you take out of it and pay school fees. And so, lack of adequate capital is a major constraint to them.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those responses. I will take one more question, and then we'll open.
First of all, during your time as a president of Ghana, if I stand to be corrected, you were able to elevate the tertiary institutions into the grade of the university level. And as you were speaking about innovation and technology, one of the things that bothers much is that we have a great man of God in Ghana, Emeritus Apostle Kudusafo, who has been using even a Presbyterian, an anti-heel, to develop a car engine. He has been developing cars and a whole lot of things, and even giving some of the cars to government officials and the police to use it and see how effective it is. We have seen that so many governments has come and gone, and currently there is no any good impact from capital investment for his side. And the youth also need training to learn how to do technology and a lot of things. First of all, I believe, and I surely believe, that you will come back again. And what is your plan for Kantanka Group? And secondly, we know a lot of money has gone through in the government today in Ghana. So many ministers are having serious money in their bedrooms. Plenty. One thing I just want to say is that you were saying that there's no money in the system, and you are coming back by God's grace. Are you going for accountability? Ways and means you are going to collect the money back and use it to help the country. Thank you.
Yeah, that's direct question. Very direct.
Since governments can employ the youth and things like that, so that maybe that can be exported to other African countries too, or we can copy from that. We just want to learn. I would like to learn more about what is happening in terms of reforms to help to support MSMEs.
You can't see that we are moving. Said we did. Let's also thank our beautiful First Lady.